What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 2 of Overserved, featuring myself, Pooch, and my co-host, Rachel. And guys, now that we're a few days into Wimbledon, and I think we could say unconventional right now for this tournament is an understatement. Going on with the weather delays, some of the other storylines we have going on that is more based on things going around the tennis and not the actual tennis. So, Rachel, kind of getting into it, looking at the schedule, how it's panning out so far, we're a couple days in and not much tennis has been played at all besides finally today.
It really has been such a crazy start. And I just feel really sorry for kind of everyone involved, the tournament directors, and then the players that haven't even played their first round match yet, the players that have had to, stop and start their matches for a couple days straight. It's out of everyone's control. And that's the hard part. I feel bad for the ticket buyers and the fans that waited in the queue. But you know what? I think better weather is on the way, and they're going to get back on track pretty soon.
And that's the tough thing with Wimbledon, because the rain's coming. Like it's not crazy, it's not unexpected.
London.
Yeah, exactly. You're in London, it's going to come, but just the way it's been this year, like I know at least for me, coming up on the weekend, not having some work, being able to relax, I was looking forward to watching some tennis, and I'm not even there. I can only imagine how the tennis, like you said, the fans, the players, everybody involved, because it's not like you're sitting around some of these guys. And I know Fritz, today is Wednesday, and Fritz started his match 2-3 days ago and just finished it up today, like a lot of these other players. So it's kind of, like you said, everybody's kind of just sitting around. And unfortunately, besides Senate Court and Court 1, the only 2 courts, and thank God they have roofs on it, because if not, I can only imagine what the schedule would look like so far. But like you said, you have fans coming all over. You have Federer, other celebrities coming in, expected to, be a big part of this. I know Wimbledon was honoring Federer, and it's kind of just, he was sitting there in the rain for a couple hours. Lucky for him, he was with the royal family.
Yeah.
Kind of just a weird situation all around.
Yeah, totally. And you bring up Fed and the royal family. I just adore the relationship that Kate Middleton and Roger Federer have. I know they played tennis to kick off Wimbledon, and they have played a bunch in the past. And I think the two of them look like $1 billion. They both look like royalty, obviously, tennis royalty, and obviously England royalty. And I just really love the two of them, and it's fun to see them supporting and watching the women's match.
You think Djokovic in the back of his mind, you think he knows that a little bit. You think he knows that the other goat is there. And something I want to talk about too is, so we both in episode 1 picked Alcaraz to win it on the men's side. But we discredit, because we got to remember that Djokovic hasn't lost a match since I think 2016.
I know.
So it's both, which would make sense, because Alcaraz is unreal, superb talent. Just everything you could want a tennis player. And we both, I don't even just say overlooked it, because we talked about it, but it's like we both were just like, yeah, Alcaraz, when it's like Djokovic, and just thinking about it too, hasn't lost since 2016. So he knows the other GOAT, and some people would say his rival Federer, when I think it's more of a the way I compare Federer and Djokovic is like in soccer with Ronaldo and Messi, where they're not the best of friends, but they don't dislike each other, I don't think, either. I think they both respect the hell out of each other. They both, know how good and how much both of them did for the game. So I don't think it's any love lost. I think it's, they kind of both stay in their own lane. But do you think that Djokovic kind of knows he's there and he's looking, obviously, win this other major, win this final major?
And you bring up Novak and Federer, having beef or whatever. And I know that people just like love to play into the tennis drama. I don't think there really is anything there. Like you said, I think that they both respect each other so much. They've brought the best out of each other on court. I know that like a while ago, like I think 2015, I think Boris Becker said how they hate each other or something. And I think that kind of started that kind of drama there. But I don't think that there's that. I think they respect more, like you said the soccer term. I see like more of like a maybe Larry Bird and Magic Johnson maybe.
And same thing with like LeBron and Jordan and just the greats of any game. It's usually more the media, fans, because you would love for there to be some real beef, some real, kind of hatred, just like in football, Cowboys, Giants, some of those other big rivalries where there really is some hatred. And with these two, like you said, I think they respect each other. They might not be the best of friends, but they kind of just do their own thing. And, they both know what each other did for the game. I think they kind of go from there. So like you said, I kind of think it's more of just outside noise.
Absolutely agree with you on that.
And then getting in, so it's finally Wednesday. We have some tennis going on, finally starting. The rain's going away. This morning, we even had more delays finally cleared up. the inside courts will go on the outside courts. And on one of the women courts, I think it might have been court 6, might be wrong, but Katie Bolter and Darius Sayville, they're in the tiebreak, right? So not only the match got moved back, the whole schedule's been delayed. They finally get going. They're in a key tiebreak. Both these women are probably, stressed. They have the nerves going. And then next thing you know, you have people running onto the court, throwing puzzle pieces, causing a scene. And they ended up, those were all the protesters. But it was an unreal scene. It's just like, it's the opposite of what happens at Wimbledon. You literally had a guy's dead weight getting dragged off. A Westhoff, our guy, I'm going to have him, our producer, I'm going to have him put the clip on the screen. But you literally have a guy dead weight, nothing, just literally legs and weight getting carried off Wimbledon. It's been a disaster.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. And the first thing that comes to mind for me is I worry about these players' safety. I mean, that guy was able to get on the court and then run across the court. And that is not okay. I mean, it's a scary situation. I think it's very unproductive. Whatever message you're trying to send out there, that's not the way to do it.
I get how many people are there, and it's just, but you know how much security, because I was going to say there's a bunch of fans there, and I get there's a bunch of entrances and things can happen, but it's Wimbledon. It's not a little challenger. It's not a smaller event. It's Wimbledon. So it's kind of just amazing that it would get to that point. And I'm sure Wimbledon's kind of embarrassed by it that it even happened. But like you said, it's kind of just in the players' safety in a sense. They were okay. Everybody was good. It was more just the scene that it was like, okay, we finally started some tennis. The rain stopped. And the next thing you know, we're getting to a crucial tiebreaker for both these women. They're locked in, getting ready to play. And then next thing you know, you just have people, I think it was 1 or 2 people run on the court, throwing things from the stands. So it was just a little crazy.
I mean, and if I was one of the players, I would have been so spooked. I would have been like scared for a second. And then you really have to get back on your mental game. Once they get the guys off the court, clean up the court. It probably took a long time. There were so many pieces all over the court, but really just keep yourself together mentally and go out and finish the match. It's tough.
So more, we spoke about the rain. It's just been a very weird, strange tournament, especially for Wimbledon. It's kind of more, like even the dress code is white, white, white. Everything's the same. Everything's, here, organized, clear cut, from everything from the grounds of the stadium, from Wimbledon. Everything is just, immaculate almost. And so for this to be happening, days and days later, tennis is getting pushed. We finally do start it, and just more kind of craziness is going on. It's been a little wild, but finally getting into more of the tennis side, finally really did kick off today. And got all the matches in, finally played the ones that they had to move back. And we had to talk about who's been a hot topic this week is our boy Sinner. So we had kind of his fan crew there, kind of those guys showing up in the big hair costumes. How do you miss it, right? So we have them showing up, and then we have to talk about Sinner finally, getting to a partnership with Gucci, which really is cool. I think that's, brings great viewership for the game. It makes sense with Sinner being Italian, obviously Gucci being an Italian brand. But I had no idea it was the first time a luxury piece of luggage has been brought onto, a main court, which is kind of crazy.
And I gotta say, I actually talked about this a long time ago in like 2018. I'm like, tennis is one of the only sports without a uniform. There needs to be, some designers that come forward and partner with these elite athletes. And I'm so happy to see it finally happening with Carlos Alcaraz and Louis Vuitton, and then Sinner and the Gucci bag, bringing it on court. Like we talked about, it had to be approved by, a few of the governing bodies for him to even bring it. But just that he did, it just shows how stylish and fashionable tennis is. And I love it. And I can't wait to see more.
I'm surprised, like you said, it took so long to kind of get some of these collabs going. Because, I mean, these are like world-renowned athletes that, it's not – a lot of guys in the United States are just, other people all over the world don't know about it. When soccer, some of these international sports, soccer, tennis, it's kind of with these international brands, it matches up so well. So I was surprised that it's like Sinner isn't the most, he's very, kind of low key, doesn't say a ton. So for him to be one of the first guys walking out with a nice Gucci luggage, I was like, he looked good. It looked unreal.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of players, I saw Diego Schwartzman was playing him today. They finished up a match, but I think yesterday he tweeted at him and he was like, "Hey, Gucci, I need a bag too. I'm playing, so I need one," which is pretty funny. But it goes on to show, like, I think Diego Schwartzman on Instagram has 4 or 5 million followers when there's, big time athletes in the United States and the NBA, NFL, professional hockey that, they have 100,000 followers. So it just shows internationally these athletes are so renowned and so well known.
Absolutely. But I got to bring up, like you mentioned with Sinner, we're not done talking about him. I want to bring up those fans you spoke about, the Karate boys.
Yeah, yeah.
Who are these guys? I think they're hilarious. I like saw one in at the French Open and he was just kind of running around the grounds and smiling and stuff. But no, I think it's so fun. Like we saw Medvedev with his salt shaker in the middle of the match. We saw Vasek Pospisil with his maple syrup in the match. But we saw Yannick at the end of last year in Vienna, like eating a huge carrot in the middle of his match. And I'm not like a baby carrot. It was like a Bugs Bunny carrot, like just chomping on it. And then he said it was his favorite snack. And that's where these Karate boys came from. It's a group of 6 guys. They saw him in Rome and then followed him to Paris. And now they're in Wimbledon just causing a ruckus. And they got their own Instagram. I think they're hilarious. And it's so fun that he's got this kind of interesting, unique fan base.
Anytime you get the fans involved, fans, you want to feel involved in the game in some sorts. And you can't tell me those 6 guys don't think, they might not be having the biggest effect, but in their mind, they're like, oh, when he wins a points because of us, and they get going crazy, get the stadium going. So anytime, I think it's great for tennis, great for sports. Anytime you get a group of fans that make you really feel like you're part of the game, like as much as you can be in the most respectful way, I think it's awesome. I even saw I don't know if they dropped a promo video, but if somebody dropped it for them, it was like them kind of getting ready, and they were like, "All right, come on!" It kind of in the sense of like they were all hanging out doing different things, and then they saw that Sinner was going to Wimbledon, obviously playing, and it was basically like, "Hey, come on, boys, we're gonna rally the troops. Let's get going. We're going to Wimbledon," which was pretty funny. Like you said, it's just it's good for tennis. It's some lighthearted fun, but it is good for the game. I'm sure in the sense of it feels good for Sinner knowing he has guys coming from all over, which obviously he does, one of the biggest players in the world, and for the fans too that he actually knows him. So I think it's just good for the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just hilarious. And then you wonder like what next habit a player is going to do, that they're just going to have this crazy fan base. Like
oh, definitely. It's working for him. I mean, he won both matches in Wimbledon so far, so he's playing well. He's, looks on form. So, I mean, maybe they're playing to keep more of a role than I'm giving them credit for. So maybe these fans are doing a hell of a job for him. Now, getting into some of the actual tennis that was played today, there have been some really good matches, but there hasn't been a ton of upsets like there have been in some of the other recent majors. So kind of, unfortunately, there has been a major upset for the Americans with Korda losing to Vesely today, which is unfortunate. But Fritz finally finished his match 2 days later. Fritz won today. Marcos Garon won today. Ben Shelton won today. For the women, Pegula won. Madison Keys won. So the Americans are still holding strong. I know Korda, especially in the odds makers, was high up there with Fritz having a chance to win this. And he didn't play an awful match. He definitely early on looked locked in and kind of just got away from him quicker than you realized. But the Americans still holding strong. What do you think?
I agree. I mean, we just had the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. And we got all these Americans doing really amazing. And it's great to see. One other upset I can think of is Coco Gauff, but she was beat by an American, Sophia Kenin. But yeah, I think it'll be fun to see them make it deep in the final rounds of the tournament. I really hope to see Foe and Fritz, go really deep in the draw along with the other Americans.
Who's going to be that American to finally, break that barrier again and finally win a major for the Americans? Because there's a ton of talent right now. Tommy Paul won today. Tiafoe won today, who I didn't mention. But there's a lot of guys who keep on the Cressy won today. So the more and more I go on, more and more guys I'm listing at going on to the next round. So the possibility would definitely be there. If one of them could kind of get the right draw, the right matchup, and have a couple of really good days, they could definitely make it on to the end.
Yeah, and Foe came close last year at the U.S. Open, that semifinal run. So it's very close. It's within reach.
Yeah, I think they've definitely all proven they can compete with these top, 3, 4, 5 guys. I think it has to be their day, definitely. But I think they've all proven they can compete. And a lot of these guys, like you said, Fritz has been there before. Tiafoe's been there before. So there's a lot of guys, there's some younger players like Wolf and Shelton. There's also that, that second layer of experienced guys who've been in some pretty big matches and have won some pretty big matches.
Yeah, absolutely.
So moving on from talking about the American players, having some success in Wimbledon, another major storyline of Wimbledon, especially the women's side, has been Anett Kontaveit, and this being her farewell tournament. And there was a lot of, at least I don't want to say controversy or talk on Twitter and throughout the media about her first match not being on either court 1 or the center court. And my question to you is, do you think that's more of a scheduling issue? Is that more of a, there's just too much going on, too many big players? It's more of just not, hey, we'll get to you when we get to you. But is it more of a just a, with the rain scheduling issue and also getting other key matches on court, center court and court one, or is it more of a disrespect to a net?
No, I think it's a little bit of all of the above, except the disrespect.
Yeah.
Renee Stubbs, I think, said it best. It's not something that's personal to her. This kind of stuff happens a lot when, a player retires, no matter kind of what their ranking is or whatever. They're still going to go to the court that they were originally going to go to. And so, yeah, I agree with Renee in that it's not personal. I love Annette. I'm sad to see her retire. I think she just was saying she had some injuries that just weren't getting better. She's a talented, like well-liked player. I loved her relationship with Onstable. The two of them were so cute. And she's from Estonia, the small country, and she's one of the best athletes to come from there. And I think that she's a class act, and I'm sad to see her go, but I really hope that she does have a deep run at Wimbledon and maybe changes her mind.
If she keeps winning and plays how she played today, she's going to be on those courts in no time. So, like you said, maybe it'll be something. Maybe we'll see her there soon, and maybe she'll even. I don't know. It's kind of. It's a big. It's one of those things I would think about where, even if you make a deep run, is it like it's almost like with Tom Brady? You go out on top like he did, and you keep pushing it along where the wheels fall off and things aren't going great. So I'm sure she'll kind of have thoughts of both. But I feel like to make a big announcement like that, it would be tough to go back and be like, hey, I'm going to keep on going. And not that she can, because I'm sure the injury is bad enough where it would be an issue. But it's kind of it'll be interesting to see how this tournament plays out for her.
And that just like totally reminded me of when Serena went through how she all at the US Open, just that was her retirement. That was a retirement tournament. And then like just a couple weeks later, like, oh, but I might come back. And I was like, what? I literally shed tears at the US Open because that was your last like match ever. And her saying that I don't think she's coming back now anymore. But I think it is something we saw Wozniacki come back and Kim Clijsters give it a go. A lot of players, they put the racket down, but I think then I don't know. Do they get bored? Do they just like miss the competition? I mean,
she's definitely still young enough. So it's something where even if she goes for a couple of years, I'm sure she'll stay in shape. I'm sure hopefully she recovers and her back injuries do get better. So maybe in the sense if she has a really good tournament and, kind of finishes out on top or at least makes a deep run in this tournament, takes a couple of years off, I'm sure does some life things she wants to do and get healthy more importantly, a comeback definitely wouldn't be too surprising. So that'll be extremely interesting to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another major story on the women's side, and not about a player who's currently playing, but one of the best athletes on the women's sides that we've seen. I think she's won 3 Grand Slams, and just a very high level player is Ashley Bart welcoming a son, which is major news. Anytime one of the major tennis athletes, especially or just major women's athlete in general, have a child, they step away from the game. It's just awesome to see for them starting their family, taking a little bit of time to themselves, and stepping away from the game.
Yes, so happy for her. Baby Hayden, they welcome baby boy Hayden, Gary and Ash, and really, really, really happy for them. And I think it's going to be exciting to see Ash as a mom. But I know we're talking about making comebacks. I can't, in the back of my mind, I'm like, is she going to be like Wozniacki maybe in a couple of years? I don't know. She's so talented, so athletic.
We would love to see that, but like you said, congrats to Ash and her family. Stepping away from the actual tennis play for a second, I got a question for you, Rachel. So each stadium or each open, I should say, each tournament has a key, either significant drink or food. That's kind of their signature, just kind of a good way to market the tournament, but it makes it interesting too. And for Wimbledon, we know it's strawberries and cream, which I've seen all over the internet, all over the media. They look really good. They look awesome. I don't know who doesn't like strawberries and cream. My question for you is, for all the majors you've been to, what's your favorite snack and drink from these tournaments?
Okay, so we're on overserved. So I gotta say, I'm more of a drink girl, tournament drink girl. I'm not as much of a foodie, and there are so many good tournament drinks. But no, I've never tried the strawberries and cream, and I want to so bad. I have some friends, I know some players on tour. They all say it's so good that the strawberries are just so fresh. They all look amazing. So I'm hoping next year I can give it a try. And also the Pims and lemonade.
strawberries and lemonade. I don't think there's more of a food and drink than just say Wimbledon more than those.
Yeah.
Definitely spot on. Like you said, they both look unreal. I'm hoping to be able to try them too. So hopefully maybe we can try it together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that wraps up episode 2 of Overserved. And we're still only a few days into Wimbledon. And there's going to be even crazier storylines, crazier matches. So I'm looking forward to getting into the next episode, talking everything tennis with you guys.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys soon.
See you soon.